Don't miss out on these mind-boggling facts that will change the way you see the world. The average soccer player runs about 7 miles or around 11 kilometers in a match. Theodore Roosevelt set what was then the world record for the most handshakes in one day, with 8,513 handshakes at a White House reception on January 1st, 1907. James Buchanan is the only president who never married. His niece performed the role of White House hostess while he was in office. PTSD did not become an official medical diagnosis until 1980. Prior to 1980, the symptoms we now recognize as PTSD were documented and understood to some degree, but they weren't classified as a distinct mental health disorder. Tonsorophobia, also known as trichophobia or haircut phobia, is an intense and irrational fear of getting one's hair cut. Standing tall in the Socotra archipelago off the coast of Yemen, the dragon blood tree is a botanical marvel. Unlike most trees, its silhouette is a stark contrast, a bare trunk reaching for the sky before bursting into a crown of spiky leaves. This unusual form isn't a random quirk, it's a clever adaptation to the island's dry climate. But here's the surprising twist. Despite its distinct look, the dragon blood tree belongs to the dicotyledon family, the same group as most trees, not the monocotyledons like grasses. So while it might look like a spiky cousin of your lawn, the dragon blood tree is a true dicot with a one-of-a-kind survival strategy. Sewage treatment plants are not specifically designed to remove all pharmaceuticals, and some drugs can make it through the treatment process. Similarly, most drinking water treatment facilities are not designed for pharmaceuticals, although some removal may occur incidentally. The presence of estrogenic chemicals, including some pharmaceuticals in waterways, can have a feminizing effect on male fish. Blue-green algae, also known as cyanobacteria, are not true algae but bacteria that photosynthesize like algae. Brazil has the most species of trees, with over 8,700. About half of them are endemic to Brazil. This means they are not naturally found anywhere else in the world. Unlike most whales, belugas sport a smooth, finless back. This isn't a fashion statement, it's a clever adaptation for life under the ice. Without a dorsal fin, they can navigate through tight spaces and break through ice flows more easily, all while reducing heat loss in the frigid Arctic waters. Most of the moonwalkers were Boy Scouts. It seems participating in the Boy Scouts of America, BSA, helped prepare these astronauts for the challenges of space exploration. Snails are masters of microscopic munching. They possess a one-of-a-kind tool called a radula. Imagine a rough tongue covered in thousands of teeth so small you can't even see them. This amazing radula acts like a built-in file, rasping and grinding their food into bite-sized pieces. Unique to some species, with their glistening spiral homes, snails are masters of both mobility and self-preservation. They can travel surprisingly long distances for such small creatures, but when danger or dryness strikes, they can seal themselves in using either a self-made gel plug or a hard calcareous cap, transforming their portable homes into mini moisture-retaining shelters. Crocodiles are underwater wrestlers extraordinaire, but their bursts of power come with a twist. Unlike us, they can't rely solely on oxygen for intense activities. When grappling with prey, they might switch on their anaerobic mode for short bursts. This is like a quick energy boost without needing oxygen, but it creates lactic acid, the same stuff that makes your muscles scream after a tough workout. So while crocodiles have this anaerobic trick up their sleeve, it lets them dominate for a short time before they need to recover. Crocodiles don't just have brute strength for chomping through prey, they've got a secret weapon in their gut. Special bacteria live there, acting like tiny chefs that break down super tough materials like keratin, found in horns and hooves, and chitin, the stuff in insect exoskeletons that most creatures would find utterly indigestible. With this microscopic help, crocodiles can turn even the most challenging meals into a nutritious feast. Unlike most reptiles stuck with a 3-chambered design, crocs boast a unique four-chambered heart. This isn't just a fancy upgrade, it's an oxygen management marvel. This special structure separates oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor blood more efficiently, fueling their powerful bursts during hunting and allowing them to hold their breath for extended periods underwater. Ectothermic animals, often called cold-blooded, are like reptilian sunbathers. Unlike us warm-blooded folks, they can't generate their own heat. Instead, they rely on external sources like sunshine to warm up or cool down in shade or water. This means their body temperature isn't constant, fluctuating with the environment. Think of them as living thermometers, adjusting their activity levels based on the surrounding temperature. From sun-loving lizards to fishy friends, many creatures, including reptiles, amphibians, insects, and even most fish, are part of this ectothermic club. Figs are actually a clever botanical mashup. Hundreds of tiny flowers huddled together on the inside of the fig, each one developing into a small, single-seeded fruit. All these mini fruits then fuse together to form the fleshy fig we know and love. Dyscalculia, sometimes called number dyslexia, is a learning disability that affects a person's ability to understand and perform math tasks, despite having normal intelligence. This can involve challenges with counting, memorizing math facts, performing calculations, or even grasping basic math concepts. We all know someone, or maybe it's us, who turns beet red after a sip. Here's the science behind it. Alcohol breaks down into acetaldehyde, a toxin our bodies need to remove. An enzyme called ALDH2, controlled by the ALDH2 gene, helps break down acetaldehyde. But for some folks, especially in East Asia, a mutated ALDH2 gene means their body struggles with this process. This acetaldehyde buildup causes blood vessels to dilate, leading to the familiar red flush. While not directly harmful, the flush can come with unpleasant side effects like nausea, making alcohol a less enjoyable experience. The International Space Station, ISS, uses Coordinated Universal Time, UTC, which is also sometimes referred to as Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. UTC and GMT are practically twins, both representing the same time, but with a minor technical difference. UTC, Coordinated Universal Time, is the global time standard based on super-accurate atomic clocks, and it doesn't follow daylight saving time. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, on the other hand, is a time zone centered on the Greenwich Meridian that observes daylight saving time during summer months. So while their time might be identical, UTC is the scientific basis, and GMT is a specific location following seasonal adjustments. Cold temperatures weaken nasal immunity, making us more vulnerable to viruses. A mere 5 degrees Celsius drop in nasal tissue temperature reduces immune response by nearly half. Globally, people average 6 hours and 58 minutes of screen time per day. Rubetosis isn't a medical condition itself, but it can be sometimes very unsettling for people who experience it. It refers to the intense awareness of your own heartbeat. Sloths are famous for their slow-mo lifestyle, but what about, well, passing gas? Science says sloths probably don't fart. It's all thanks to their super sluggish digestive system. Sloths are leaf lovers, but unlike cows, their gut doesn't churn out a lot of methane, the gas behind those, smelly emissions. Instead, their gut absorbs the gas and they breathe it out. So no surprise rear-enders, but maybe a touch of sloth breath to watch out for. Plus, with their super slow digestion, it takes sloths ages to break down their food days even. This means even less gas builds up compared to creatures with speedier digestive systems. Black bears can come in a surprising variety of colors, including cinnamon, brown, blonde, white, and even blue-gray. The mutation that causes the brown fur is most common in western black bears. Scientists believe this mutation showed up around 9,360 years ago. Eastern black bears are mostly black because they weren't able to cross the Great Plains to get to the other side of the United States. So, the next time you see a bear, Don't be surprised if it's not quite as black as its name suggests. Imagine a fishy smell that clings to you like a shadow. That's fish odor syndrome, or trimethylaminuria, TMAU for short. This rare condition is a metabolic glitch. Normally, our bodies break down a certain gut-produced chemical, but in TMAU, this breakdown fails. The leftover chemical, trimethylamine, builds up and escapes in sweat, breath, and urine, causing the fishy odor. It's not your fault, it's your genes. Ancient Babylonians did math in base 60 and not base 10, influences our world in many ways, even today, by giving us 60 seconds in a minute, 360 degrees in a circle, etc. Remember, the world is full of surprises. Stay curious, stay open-minded, and you'll never stop being amazed. Want to keep your brain buzzing? Don't forget to subscribe.